We are on episode 2.
Episode 2. Alrighty. First one in the books. On to number 2.
Yeah.
How has the feedback been for you?
So far, so good.
Awesome.
With our millions of followers, I've been getting an abundance of messages.
Abundance. Wow. This is going to be a good one. If we're already starting with the word abundance, that's amazing. Yeah, I've got some pretty good feedback. Most of it saying that the sound was exquisite.
I'll take my credit.
Please, that's all you. And yeah, you did quite well. I listened to it back a few times, and the sound was crisp. Weird hearing our voices, though.
Oh man, that's hard to get over.
Yeah,
that's hard to get over.
Will it ever go away?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. I got some hate. I got some haters out there.
All right.
Yeah, push back with my 2-for-1 pizza being the GOAT pizza chain in Toronto.
I don't blame them.
Oh man, you're all I had left in this world. No pizza for you. Yeah, I mean, maybe we could do a whole thing on the best pizza joints in the city.
Oh man,
that aren't chain related.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. If we're gonna do this, like, we should do it we should do like segments of
Pizzaville.
We're doing it right. Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, I think that's something we could plan for future episodes for sure.
Yeah. How was your week since we last spoke?
Week was long. I'm broken today. Absolutely broken.
Yeah.
Yourself?
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. We shoveled the heck out of the city this week.
Yeah. It was backbreaking, to say the least.
Oh, I could say a few other things that aren't podcast friendly about how I feel today, but I think backbreaking is a good place to leave it with the snow. We got dumped on pretty hard.
Yeah, we absolutely did.
Yeah.
I met all my neighbors.
It's a great way to meet people.
Yeah, no, it was good. We have a little back parking lot. It's nice to actually see the people.
Yeah.
With shovel in hand.
Yeah. Well, on a lighter note, did you eat anywhere good?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes,
Let's get into that.
I have an announcement.
Ooh. Yeah. Episode 2. Joey's making announcements. Jesus, talk about free reign.
Listen, I have the spot. Okay. This is the spot, and it's in your hood.
Ooh.
It's St. Clair and Oakwood.
Very much in my hood.
This place had one of the best sandwiches.
Wow.
I think I've ever had.
Oh.
And that's a big statement.
Yeah. What's it called?
It is called, and they've only been open for 4 months.
Jesus.
Okay, so here's the deal. They're called Sandwichito.
I love the name. Sold.
They are, and they're not, so this is the thing about them, is they're basically, there's no sit down spot for them. It's a single guy. Shout out Sebastian. You are a killer.
Sebastian.
Super
Seb.
Do yourselves a favor. Go on Instagram, search Sandwichito, and just watch his videos. Wow. And you won't, they're as good as the taste is as good as they look.
Okay. Heavy drool factor, I'm hearing.
Heavy drool factor. I tried not to say drool again because I did it in the first podcast.
Did you?
Yeah, but I do drool a lot when I see good sandwiches. So what can I say?
And what style is it, like deli? Is it?
Yeah. So it's basically a Chilean sandwich. Well, it's like Chilean flavors mixed with a deli sandwich.
Ooh, fusion.
Yeah, it's like a fusion thing, and
wow.
It's incredible.
We're definitely going there this week.
Okay, done. Yeah,
legit. Like podcast over. We're going there this week. And is it? Are they like regular hours? Or is it like some?
So yeah, that's actually good to mention that, because I tried to eat there like 3 or 4 times and I couldn't. So what happened the first time? So they're only open from Wednesdays to Saturdays.
Okay.
The other thing is he sells out.
I could see that.
So the one time I thought I was going to make it, sold out of sandwiches. I had to wait for the next week to come through. So
the city does not have enough good deli places, like for a proper deli sandwich.
So yeah, like I said, it's a hybrid. So I don't want to say it's the deli sandwich.
No, fair.
But keep that in mind. And like I said, go to Sandwichito on his Instagram, watch those stories, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Amazing. I'm well, now that we're on the topic of food again, I don't know how we always find ourselves here. I was pleasantly surprised as well. I went to this place. I think it's a Mexican swear word, and apologies if it is. Añejo. Does that sound naughty? Añejo. Yeah, it does. I feel like I'd be, if I did something wrong and I had a Mexican mother, she'd be añejo.
For the slippers.
It might not mean that at all. But I was pleasantly surprised. We went to Añejo at the old beer market location on King Street.
Right.
King in Portland, I believe. They have over 180 flavors of tequila.
All right.
We tried to, and I called it quits. It was great. It was like, I'm not what I used to be in terms of drinking. Añejo, really good guac, really good salsa.
All right.
They made it at our tableside.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we went there. It was quite enjoyable.
All right.
Yeah. Shout out to Añejo. Yeah. I also attended, because I do work. I don't just eat, if you can believe that. I attended the Land Pro conference this week. You ever heard of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Only through me?
Yeah. Through your, yeah.
Yeah. They've been around for a while. COVID kind of set them back a bit. Shout out to Zeifmans, the accounting firm that we work with. They had me there as one of their guests. And the main highlight for me was Benjamin Tal. He's a CIBC economist, and he is a fantastic presenter of economic information. He's funny, he's engaging, he makes it interesting. He's inspiration for sure. So he put on a really good talk about where he sees the market going, more from an economic side and the finance side. And one thing he said that was really interesting to me was that the Bank of Canada is not only battling economic conditions, they're also battling, drumroll, social media. And he wasn't saying that as a joke. It was quite an interesting point that he brought up, that the Bank of Canada also has to now battle all the millions. What does The Rock say? The millions and millions of opinions on Twitter. I don't know why it is accent like that at the end, but on Twitter. and I thought about it for a second. I'm like, damn, he's right. Which inspired today's topic.
Yeah.
The worst places to get real estate advice ever. So let's get into that.
Yeah. So should we start off with the number one? I'm going to call it the number one.
Yeah, it's definitely number one in my books.
Okay. Yeah.
And it wasn't always like this. I used to like this platform.
Right.
Yeah. If you haven't guessed it by now, we're talking about Twitter.
Yeah.
Love-hate relationship with that thing. You've recently joined it.
Yeah. So I didn't do Twitter for the longest time. No particular reason. I just never did. Yeah. And recently, since we've been talking, I decided to download it, take a look and take a peek inside the curtain. And you're not wrong.
I've warned you. Your mental health is going to be compromised if you go onto this thing, and like it's not fun anymore.
I'm entertained.
That I'll give it.
I'm entertained, and I find myself scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
Oh,
like, yeah. I mean, that's what it's a social media platform. This is what it's meant to do.
The death scroll.
Yeah.
Doom scrolling.
It's doom scrolling.
Yeah, you never end.
Yeah. And my God, there's if you want to watch everybody fight about everything all the time, that's
Twitter's your app. Let that be its tagline. Look, I'm an OG Twitter guy. I've been on it since 2009. It used to be fun.
Right.
I really enjoyed it in the beginning. Shout outs to users like Matthew Slutsky and Buzz Home, Roy Bandari from Talk Condo, Andrew LaFleur, who's not on it anymore. And he was quite successful from it. Met some great clients, met some cool people in the city. But it was different back then. And I'll tell you what changed with Twitter. It used to be a chronologically ordered platform. And what I mean by that is the more you tweeted, the more you showed up. It was based on chronological order. That changed. And it's now based on the algorithm. The A word. And it has ruined the experience to the nth degree. It has become such a negative place where the more sensational you are, the further your message gets shared.
Yeah, which I mean that's the trend, but it's and that's exactly what it did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it did. And that's why I was scrolling because you're entertained by just nothing but just arguments and how bad everything is and where are we going with this awful doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you used the perfect word off air for it, the echo chamber.
Yeah.
Because all it does is just reverberate the stance and opinion you have. It just keeps showing you the one side that you tend to be more engaged with.
Right. And it suggests on that, right? So you'll follow somebody, you'll be entertained in the fact that, we're all going to die. And then it'll suggest the next guy that's also saying the same thing. Yeah. Or with him, he'll retweet somebody that he also agrees with.
As of the same camp.
And exactly. And then you'll start finding yourself in this loop of, oh yeah, this is, I mean, look at these experts.
Yeah.
Look at all these people talking about how terrible this is.
Right.
I can't touch this.
And I miss the old days where the only place you can get bad advice was from your family or friends who lived in a basement or, the uncle at that summer party who had a little bit too much to drink. Like now Twitter has a platform of trolls, of anonymous people, of, users who truly get joy out of just sharing the worst of the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you're a buyer or seller, on face value, Twitter sounds like a good place to start.
Yeah.
Because it's a big pool of various opinions and professionals who can share what they see out there.
Yeah.
But the motivation has changed. It's no longer just tweet a lot to show up on the chronological order. It's, tweet wild, tweet sensational stuff to get it shared further.
Yeah.
And that's not genuine. Like that's not giving a good opinion of where things are at.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find yourself getting lost in that. And I think something that I want to, mention is that it's got, okay, so I'll play devil's advocate for a quick sec. What's the thing I liked about it in the last little while of me scrolling through it is that some people will give you these real life examples of stuff that's happening, and they're usually bad stories,
right?
So be cautious of that. But it can open your eyes to some risk that is happening, right?
That's a very good point.
So it is cool to kind of get a little peek into specific deals and specific situations that are happening. Let's say, for instance, within a shifting market, where it's not just going up.
Yeah.
So it gives you a little bit of insight into that world, which is nice.
Yeah.
Don't get lost in it.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
That's on that vein. I think the good thing about Twitter is you do get a decent idea of what's happening on the ground floor. Right. You can see what's happening in the trenches, what's happening in the market. There are users who are still sharing that. And I think there's benefit for being on Twitter for that.
Yes.
Just tread carefully.
That's it. And something to be said about the algorithm itself is if you're finding yourself and you're finding your feed is showing you all this terrible things and or on the other side, I think the main thing to do is find people and find feeds that are against what you are now starting to kind of believe.
Yeah.
Do it actively.
Look on the other side of the fence.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you need to do that so that the algorithm tries to show you both, and at least you get the full scope of both of these things.
I think I'm going to take your advice on that. I think that's what I've been doing wrong all these years. I mean, the algorithm has gotten so convoluted that now it shows you tweets from people you don't even follow.
Right.
So we've lost a little bit of that control of monitoring what we can and can't see. But I think that's a really good point. Always see both sides, whether you're a bear or a bull. What would be in between a bear and a bull? A raccoon?
It could be absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense, but you have a bear, you have a bull, maybe a zebra.
Black and white.
Black and white. That's it. Okay. Be the zebra. Joey the swan, Mark the shark. You be the zebra. Find that neutral thing in the middle where you get both sides of the story, because that helps you have a little bit of power against the algorithm where you're not just purely shown one side of the story. Yeah. I like that. Wow. That was good. Insightful Joe.
Yeah. That's my other
Insightful nickname. Joe. Jesus, the intros are going to be long. Running through all of our nicknames here. All right, that's probably a good segue. So the problem with Twitter is the algorithm.
Yeah.
Number 2, what I got on the list is forums.
Yeah.
Forums are a big place where people go to seek insight and information.
Yeah.
But the problem I have with that is it doesn't necessarily have professionals answering those questions on it.
No, it fuels so this is something that I've noticed. So let's say Reddit, for instance, gigantic forum. If you start digging into some things, you'll see something that will trigger some type of emotion out of you. Then you'll start reading the comments to see, well, what do other people think about this?
Right.
And then you start realizing that the comments are just as bad as the post itself.
Yeah. It's amateur hour on Reddit.
That's what it is.
On the forums. I mean, they're all not just Reddit, call them out, but all of them are.
That's exactly it. Yeah. And it's full of people with just that are just have heavy opinions.
Yeah.
That aren't necessarily
skin in the game.
Yeah.
Right. It's purely like, this is my theory on your question, and I'm going to have 50 other trolls to back up that opinion. And vote it up. And this is going to be, our fun little project of the weekend, right? So definitely if you're seeking advice, like the forums do offer a good base, but be careful, right? And always think about like, who's the people distilling this advice to me? And that's what I do whenever I pick up a book, especially like these self-help books. Right. I always say to myself, but like, what have you done?
Who is it?
Yeah, who are
wrote
you?
It? Yeah.
Like, did you get rich off writing the book? Or do you have a better life out of writing the book? Or like, did you live the good life and now you're distilling that insight to us?
Yes.
And I think that same type of ideology should be used on these forums. Like, ask who you're talking to, right? Like, see if they have, you can have a profile on these forums so you can see, but then maybe do a little bit of Googling of who's giving this opinion and what's their, not necessarily agenda, but like, what's their motivation?
Yeah. Yeah, and it goes. I mean, they all, these two things kind of touch on each other, which is as much as Twitter has algorithm, Reddit has, I guess, their ups. Or
Fair, yeah. Vote ups, yeah.
Their vote ups, right? And it's usually it kind of always strives from whoever says the most
wild thing
gets voted up, because that's the most interesting, and that's the extremists will vote the extreme side up as much as possible.
Yeah, it's just supporting their team's stance.
Yeah.
And like it's that old adage, if it bleeds, it leads. So the more sensational, the more share it's going to get.
Yeah.
We're people who love drama.
Yeah.
I have a Netflix account. I love drama. What are we watching? Emily in Paris. Are you watching that?
No.
It makes no sense to me. Shout out to the wife. She wants to watch it. I'm a good husband. I'm watching it with her. And you know what? As much as I criticize it, I'm there for the drama. I digress though. Back to the topic at hand. So then let's maybe talk about like the third place where you should really be careful trying to get advice or real estate in. And that's a combination of the first and the second. That's, do we call them media websites? Glorified blogs?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like
glorified
that.
blogs?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
The website I've really got a problem with sounds like slob.to. Try to read between the lines of what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
And I find websites of that nature, well, I mean, a blog.to is what I'm referring to, and Narcity as well, that their whole playbook is really trying to pump salacious headlines to get you to click that link and go and view that article. But then the lunch bag letdown is the article doesn't really contain much oomph. There's not insight.
No, there isn't.
Right?
There isn't. They're usually
it's a lot of words.
Yeah,
but not content.
And it's clickbait. That's just that's the word to use. They're watch the headlines and don't get lost in just scrolling through it and be like, oh, did you hear about this?
Yeah,
because that's just not. It's just trying to get you to click on the thing.
Yeah, a good book I read. Ryan Holiday. He's a Stoic philosopher. He's not a Stoic philosopher. He writes about Stoic philosophy, and he's got this book that's completely separate from all of Stoicism, and it's called "Trust Me, I'm Lying."
Right.
And it's how the main point of these styles of websites and blogs and news outlets is to just get clicks, because the clicks translates into revenue from the ads you're watching on their platforms.
Right.
And so they don't care about accuracy. They don't care about providing you insight. They care about getting you to click.
Get the click.
Which is sad. Like, really, all of this sensationalism is just for ad revenue? Man, maybe we're in the wrong business. I mean, I can write some salacious Joey the Swan and Mark the Shark headlines if we could generate ads from it, right? But I think that these type of websites is a combination of the first two we said. So they're trying to game the algorithm, and they're written by people who aren't necessarily real estate professionals, what you find in the forums.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, as tempting and as juicy as they can be to click and read them, always kind of bring yourself back down to base, to ground, and just say, like, who's writing these articles? What is the intention they're trying to provide, or the insight they're trying to provide from this article?
Yes.
And most often than not, you leave more confused than you were when you clicked on the thing in the first place, right? But you and I have talked quite a bit about, there are some really good resources.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
You could get some great insight.
Yeah. So I think this is good, because we need to bring this into like, where should you look?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of places you got to be cautious of.
Yeah.
And I think trying to find, if you're going to be on these sites and you're going to be looking, well, mind you, I'll talk about more social media sites.
Sure.
If you're going to be looking for people to get information from, make sure that the person you're listening to is speaking a little more on the line of, here's more of the facts.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's actually happening.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be the bull. I'm not trying to be the bear.
Yeah. The zebra.
I'm trying to be the zebra.
Find the zebras. And you've followed some great people on Instagram that you've shared with me. You want to?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So big shout out to Tom Storey and Steve Karrasch. They also have a podcast as well.
And they're realtors.
They're both realtors. Yeah. One from Vancouver. Tom Storey's from Toronto.
Okay.
Killer information. And like they're exactly that. They give you the facts.
Yeah. Good or bad.
Yeah. And they just say, this is what's happening in the market.
Nice.
And those are the types of people you want to find. The other person I want to shout out is Emma Pace.
Nice.
I found her through the Canadian Real Estate Channel.
Okay.
She was one of the speakers that she still does. Okay. She's been doing it for like 2 years, and great person to find if you're looking for just like the general stats of how the trends have been going.
Yeah.
She doesn't say, oh, this is how it's going to go. We're all going to make $1 million.
Yeah.
It's very much just, here's what's happening. I'm curious what's going to happen
Very
next.
impartial.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's on Instagram.
She's on Instagram. She's on YouTube. Yeah.
All platforms. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I feel the same about a couple of people on Twitter. As bad as the app is for getting information, there are some people who really try to put out good content.
Yeah.
Shout out John Pasalis, Realosophy. That's his brokerage name.
Yep.
He's been in the game for a long time. He's an early Twitter user. He's adapted quite well to the changes in Twitter. And I think he does a good job being the zebra and kind of showing both sides of the spectrum.
Yep.
Not really just pushing one thing. Now, there's also a really good journalist I follow. She writes for, let me just not guess this wrong. Stephanie Hughes. Her Twitter handle is Steph Hughes 95. She's a reporter for the Financial Post. She puts out videos. She does a great job. She does a good job communicating the message in a very digestible, easy to understand way. She doesn't use crazy high, vocabulary and gets lost in the stats too much. She's really a good person on Twitter to provide you kind of the full story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of reporters that actually I find even for the major outlets of the Stars and the Suns of the world, they do tend to take one side and strictly defend it. But Stephanie, she's really, I don't know, I wouldn't say necessarily in between, but does a good job reporting. She's a great journalist.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out her. But I'm going to say that there is a vast source of really good information.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get talked about enough. I think because it's not so sexy as the social medias and the Twitters and the
Very
all that
true.
stuff.
Yeah.
Newsletters.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
So I will say there is real estate in general. It's very local. When you see the big headlines, when you see any blogger or a lot of the bloggers that are writing about the big picture, right?
Yeah.
This is like the stats that they're using are all encompassing.
Canada based.
They're Canada based or all of GTA.
Right.
But if every single neighborhood is different than the next.
Real estate's local.
Yeah.
Right. And it can literally be one block versus another. Can be a variation of 10% of values.
Yeah.
It could be based on the school district or for a variety of reasons. And that's a very good point that real estate is hyper local.
Yes.
So we subscribe to a few newsletters of people out there. Maybe I'll just give a quick shout out of some people who provide some really good insight.
Yep.
On the mortgage broker world, actually, I really like David Larock. He speaks at our office once a month, gives us a rundown.
Yeah.
And he's got a very detailed newsletter that he puts out every Monday.
Yes.
So he's really good. Chris Mulder, he's also Mortgage Broker we use. He puts out, I think, monthly, quite good insight. And he does it in video. So it's really fun and easy to understand. And then Jason Friesen of Outline Mortgage. They're also very detailed. So the reason why I like newsletters is they could take a little bit more time truly finessing their point and getting their point across clearly.
Yeah.
They don't need a catchy, flashy headline because you've already subscribed to their feed, to their newsletter.
Right.
So they don't care to hook you. They're here to provide you. Right.
Right.
Which is probably a good time to plug a little something we've got. It's a newsletter.
We're talking about newsletters. Yeah.
We've got one. Yeah. So every month I look at the Toronto Real Estate Board stats and numbers and I put it into my super real estate Extremo spreadsheet. And I really try to look at the trends and communicate it in a simple, easy to understand way. It comes out once a month. I'm going to get into doing two newsletters a month. Once will be kind of my take on where the market's going. And then we've got Sage provides us with real estate stats for over 150 neighborhoods in Toronto.
Yeah.
And I think that's goes back to your point of being hyper local. It's a really good resource we could provide. So shameless plug. If you want to receive our glorious newsletter that we put out once and soon to be twice a month, you can subscribe at torontolivings.com or reach out to us on any of our socials. But no, this was good. I think it's important to, share the insight of how crazy the world has gone with these platforms and how the messages aren't probably the best place to be getting advice. Entertainment,
100%.
sign up for
all
them
day long.
You'll get it. But advice and insight and true, honest opinion, I don't know.
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
And last thing I'll just mention in terms of if you're looking for that information is reach out to people.
Yeah.
Like,
great advice. Like the realtors, call them.
Reach out to people that are actually on the field, in the field and doing it because they'll give you a perspective themselves. And it'll be a lot more true because you'll be able to actually develop a relationship there.
For sure. Good tip. I met someone at an open house and they followed me on Twitter. And they're like, well, we follow you online. We want to see what you're like in person. Mm-hmm. So what better way you can go check out a bunch of properties. Open house season is now here. It's getting busy out there. And it's a great opportunity to kind of maybe fact check or see it's one thing to be busy on Twitter. It's another thing to actually be busy in the field And anyone can write salacious tweets all day and pump them out. But if you're not selling and you're not buying and you're not actually having these conversations daily, how useful are you on these platforms? So I don't want us to be cool on Twitter. I want us to be cool in the streets. I want us to have cred, sandwiches, food, real estate, but we're active. We're constantly out there helping people. And that's what shapes our perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just end on this one positive thing that I do think Twitter is really good at. It's about 3 to 4 weeks ahead of the trends in the newspapers. So you can really get a sense of the direction things are going by seeing the overall vibe on Twitter.
Yes.
Before the news reports on it.
Yeah. So great point.
You could see some really good trends on there versus just purely, nobody reads newspapers anymore, but no, Twitter is good to get like an on the field source. Just make sure the people who are tweeting the stuff are actually doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Anything you want to
add? No, I think that covers it.
All right. So I'm Mark Savell. I'm a realtor with Toronto Livings.
My name is Joey Virgilio, a realtor with Toronto Livings.
We both work for Sage Real Estate. We're on episode number 2.
Yes, we are.
We're trying to get to 2,000. So if you can, subscribe. If you have any show ideas or stuff that we should be covering or talking about, shoot us a message.
Yeah.
You come to our open houses. We're friendly. We're nice. You can find us on Instagram at Toronto Livings, and the website shares the same name, torontolivings.com. That's it for now. See you on episode 3.
See you on episode 3.
Ciao.